Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another 10-minute investor eye test with Sasha and Carmelo from Arcanum Ventures. Today, we are looking at the overhyped, maybe, Monad, a layer one EVM blockchain, coming in with some wild numbers that we've just checked out for the first time, and I'm excited to dig into it. Sasha, do you know anything about Monad and its crazy, colossal airdrop campaign that's going on right now?
Hello, I do know a little bit about Monad. Monad, I think it's an EVM compatible blockchain or a layer one. I met someone from the business development team a little while ago. I know they've got a sort of incubation program or an accelerator program, obviously trying to bring builders into the network. I don't know specifics about the blockchain itself, and I don't know what kind of technological innovation they're offering compared to a lot of the other kind of EVM compatible L1s out there. But hopefully, we could dive in and see if the hype is merited.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that's the name of the game right now is, do we need another layer one EVM chain? And if so, why? And why is it valued so highly? We'll dig into that more towards the middle and end of the video, just how wild these valuations are for Monad currently with the ongoing airdrop. But yeah, I guess we're going to try to look into it. And for those unfamiliar, Sasha and myself, we take 10 short minutes, sometimes 11, to dive into a new launching project or token. We try to see what it's all about, why they're launching a token, is it necessary, and is it representative of a good investment opportunity. Obviously, we're not giving financial advice, but we're giving our honest, unfiltered VC hat advice, or what do you want to call it? Not advice, our first reaction. So we're reacting to this for the first
Guidance.
time. Yeah, guidance maybe. So we're going to take 10 short minutes. We're going to give our verdict. So stay tuned towards the end of the video. And if you like this sort of content, just feel free to give us a subscription or a like or follow or however you call it. And give us your feedback too, because we like reading your comments. And, we do learn a lot from the comments section sometimes. People know more than we do about some of the projects we talk about. So thank you for that.
All right. And without any further ado, 10 short minutes on Monad starting right meow. Boom. And I've got crypto rank up, and this is a source of truth we like to look for at like a high level for these projects. And it looks like Monad, at least the Mon token, is live, but I believe this is pre-market trading, and so it's trading at just over 7 cents per token or per coin. And I know that they've got a supply. I saw somewhere a supply of 100 billion tokens. So that means pre-market it's trading somewhere for about 7 billion valuation, which is wild.
Yeah, and
But
this is interesting. This is one of the first times that you and I have seen something listed pre-market, like as the trading token price, right? Like it's not officially live, but they are featuring like the BitGet and some of these other exchanges are showing what the tokens currently, these future contracts are trading for. And just for some comparison, we just reviewed some numbers beforehand that Aptos launched at like a $4 billion valuation. Sui at a 2 billion and Solana at a $200 million valuation, which is crazy to think that Solana, one of the biggest networks we know, launched at 200 million, and this is already at 7 billion pre-market. So just wanted to add that in
yeah,
there, which is pretty fascinating.
different time. But yeah, we've
Inflation.
got so, it's massive inflation. We've got some really notable investors in the cap table, Dragonfly and Paradigm leading. So these are VCs that are not specifically thought of as Web3 VCs. Shima, OKX Ventures, Green Oaks Capital. So yeah, this is a great cap table. It makes you wonder, what they're doing right. But like I said,
Hmm.
it's a layer one blockchain compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine. That description alone hopefully does not do it justice because at a $7 billion valuation, you wonder like, what's the secret sauce?
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's take a look at fundraising. Oh, wrong link. So we've got some pretty crazy numbers here as well. And so in this, I guess, private round, this second round past the seed stage, they raised 225 million. I'm assuming against equity and token, but that is massive for a blockchain layer one in a single fundraising round.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, the valuation and the amount raised is incredible. Like, I don't know how, like, some of the projects we've seen, some of the other layer ones and layer twos we've covered, they've not been able to raise. more than a few million, and these guys raised 225 million, which is pretty insane.
Yeah. I do want to make a note, like there no one's sure of what the actual FDV is. They haven't stated like what their targets are for any sort of public listing price. But there is like this pre-market that's trading this token. But I did see a poly market, let's say wager on the FDV of Monad. You can see here what this distribution looks like. So a lot of people think that the launch FDV of Monad, or the FDV one day after launch, I'm assuming that's going to be 24 hours exactly after launch, is going to exceed maybe 6 billion. So, poly market's not wrong often, right?
Yeah, there's this weird thing that happens there where like the combination of smart money, like experts and people with information asymmetry, and then dumb money, people that just wildly guess, or they have their dog or their cat pick pick for them, like we see in March Madness every year. The combination makes a more accurate outcome than just if experts predicted it, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, this is usually a good indicator, especially as we approach the closing date for it. So I guess. Oh, this I don't. Oh, this resolves in June 2026, so it's pretty far out from when it's going to
Oh
resolve.
wow.
But yeah,
Yeah,
they
maybe they need
usually it's
some.
pretty good indicator. Like somebody leaks some information, somebody has something that they're not disclosing where they got that information from.
Yeah, that is a good point. But I've got the website for Monad up here, and much like any of our 10-minute eye tests, we want to figure out like what does the token or coin do, and is there a sort of valid investment somewhere that we think
Hmm.
would be good to dive into. We know it's an EVM compatible blockchain, so obviously the token is going to tie in some sort of consensus mechanism, maybe like proof of stake or delegated proof of stake. I'm not sure how that works, but hopefully we could find some stuff on the tokenomics. But
Yeah,
again, like we've seen this story many times, right? Limitless blockchain, and 10,000 transactions per second. Funny enough, like that's not, there are some blockchains launching with way more than that, they claim. But wow. Okay. Some interesting numbers here.
yeah. Like I think we've done enough of these to understand that it's not these numbers. They're absolutely should put them front forward facing on the front page of the website, but they're not like the difference maker. They're not the thing that gets most normal people excited. What gets them excited, as we've come to find, is like the amount of activity developing or cooking up in it. So the backers obviously start the party. They did a good job of joining testnet and having some developer resources up top and featured right away. So one of the things that you and I look for with layer ones and layer twos is what activity do they have cooking up in their ecosystem. One of the funny things we've seen in the past is like, are there going to be some Monad meme coins launching to like, this usually
Hmm.
starts the party too. Like whatever third party development or coins, or how easy is it to spin up like a token pair on a DEX? What is the first DEX of this ecosystem? So that's one of the giveaways or clues when you're looking at a new layer one or layer two is like, are people already excitedly building in there? Like I think with Barachain launch, we saw a lot of people saying we're the first DEX or launchpad on Barachain. So that's usually an indicator that they're having a really easy time finding funding, which means that most people, the general consensus is excited about that new chain or ecosystem.
Yeah, it's a really good point. And, we're seeing a lot of interesting things here. I saw something up here about how, there's low hardware requirements because the Monad database allows you to store most of the state on SSD instead of RAM. I don't know if that's an innovation specific to Monad, but that is really interesting. And then they've got asynchronous execution. And so we've seen things like this before. I think in our Shardium eye test, we talked about the intricacies of how the Shardium network will expand or contract based on demand. But again, like we're talking about layer one blockchains, you're right. The most important thing really is the ecosystem and the developers. And so let's take a look. I mean, there's a lot to process here, but hopefully this can give us an idea of what applications are planning to build on Monad,
Hmm.
and what demand the blockchain can see from that. And I see here already like Agora, Zero X. These are names that are for protocols or projects that are already like cross-chain interoperable, right? So it's not Monad native per se. It's just accessible on Monad.
Yeah, not even close. Like Alchemy's not even like they're everywhere. They're like a tooling and infrastructure company. But yeah, a lot of these like Atomic Wallet. it's encouraging to see that everybody's incorporating them and integrating them with their pre-existing tech. And I think having an EVM chain makes that a lot easier for developers. So it reduces the friction of onboarding a new chain when they launch. So that makes it easier. But yeah, I would like to see more information about what specific new builds are happening. Like who is going to be the king of the hill for the DEX or the exchanges on this chain. Maybe there's going to be a perp DEX like all the other
Hmm.
chains are following suit right now, like Aster with BNB or Hyperliquid having its own chain. Maybe they're going to do something similar with that to capitalize on that. But I imagine they have like a huge war chest of money that they can, especially after launch. So how they use that and what they're going to be using to onboard or what they need. What are the MVP requirements basically to run a chain? You need a DEX. You need maybe an NFT marketplace. I don't know if those are still around, but I know Monad has these NFT cards that people are really excited about too. I don't know if that ties into the airdrop or not, but people are collecting them.
Hmm. It is a really good point, man. I mean, this is it's funny because you look at an ecosystem like this where you've got a bunch of projects that are quite common across any EVM network, and it's almost instead of a pro, it's a con, right? Like if
Hmm.
you don't see every EVM based multi chain protocol here, then Monad's doing something wrong because it shouldn't be significant. It shouldn't be like a massive technical hurdle for them to integrate, like for example, Atomic Wallet or Phison or Euler.
Yeah.
So you're right. There's no way of telling like what actually is building natively on Modad right now, unless it's denoting it here, which we don't have enough time to go through. But it comes down to like where's the demand coming from? The people that are going to be using this infrastructure on Monad might be doing so because there might be a lot of liquidity on Monad if they launch. And how do you get liquidity? You get maybe speculators and traders. So maybe they do go down that meme coin route, right? Especially if there's gasless transactions and instant finality. It sounds like a perfect place for high frequency trading of meme coins or other assets.
Yeah, and I guess it doesn't matter if it's native or third party. It what matters is people are considering it and building for it, right? Like that's all that matters. That's still dev
Oh man,
activity.
we hit our 10 minutes, man, and we haven't even taken a close look at anything. And I'm wondering, like, is there anything around the tokenomics that we could dive into? But I don't see anything left. So maybe we should just leave it there and let
Yeah.
speculation take hold. So 10 minutes. That was 10 short minutes on Monad. In fact, like we haven't done 10 minutes on our project in a while. It's been like 12 or 15, let's be
S-
honest.
Especially a layer one blockchain.
Yeah, I mean, we
So
saw a lot of buzzwords. We saw a lot of cool things. We saw a pretty widespread developer ecosystem, but I don't know. Let's dive into verdicts. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
you go ahead.
Okay. Let me compile my thoughts for a second. Would I invest in the Monad token as an investment? At this point, no. It seems like there's a massive amount of speculation around this token launch. We've heard some rumors about controversy or scams around the airdrop, like the team buying wallets to participate, artificially or inorganically boosting engagement metrics, blah, blah, blah. So they're playing that sort of engagement speculation game. And it doesn't seem like the current pre-market trading price that we saw, a $7 billion valuation, this doesn't seem like a discount for what's being offered. And so for that alone, I don't think that I would invest in this. I haven't seen anything that speaks truly to like this is going to be groundbreaking when it comes to providing infrastructure for an entire new host of demand coming from traditional finance or other developers that are getting into blockchain. It seems like the same old rinse and repeat of like, we've got this many transactions per second, we've got all these technological buzzwords, and then we've got Atomic Wallet. And so, it doesn't seem like anything new or exciting besides maybe serving as like an asset that is going to have a lot of volume for trading. So I wouldn't consider investing in this. It's maybe a thumbs down for me. And no disrespect to the Monad team. Obviously, you're doing some things very right to be getting this interest and this funding, but it's definitely not something I would want to partake in.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think we ever really make that distinction of that thumb might be a sideways if you're an early investor. Like if you're a dragonfly or paradigm, then maybe this looks like maybe they're salivating over this launch right now because they got in real early, maybe sub $100 million valuation. In that case, it's really exciting, and you've done well. You've got your crypto equivalent of a unicorn as an investment for your fund. But you're right. Like, if we're talking just as a retail, I think we're talking mostly to retail right now. Getting in at a $7 billion valuation, it's risky. Like, that is very high compared to some of the other launches we've seen, especially for an unproven technology and an unproven chain. They might have the test chain live, but we don't know a whole lot about Monad, and we can't like make that emotional decision unless we want to just hope and pray that everybody's talking about it for the right reasons. But we saw this with the Pump.Fun launch. It was like a $6 billion valuation at launch, and it went down immediately. Not because it's bad or because it didn't do anything right. It's just it was overvalued. The market saw that and drove the price down, and then it found the true price discovery. And the good thing about this pre-market is that 7 billion is probably more organic than most launch prices because it's people actively trading and deciding on the price, which is interesting. We haven't seen much of that. That being said,
Yeah.
I also think it's a little bit overvalued. I think if you really truly believe in the tech, which they very well might have some incredible tech that is we've not seen before, but you and I haven't had more than 10 minutes to dive into that, so we don't know anything about it. We're flying blind. If you really do believe in the tech, this might be a good long-term conviction play, but maybe you wait for the price to go down. You see the sell-offs from VCs or the lockups or whatever. I don't know what the investment metrics are, the cliffs and all that stuff, but maybe you wait and then you buy it and then you ride it up. That being said, like, the chain looks good. It seems like they're doing all the right things. I can't personally help but think, what did this team do differently than all of the other layer ones and twos that we've seen? How did they manage to raise hundreds of millions of dollars? What are they going to do with that money? How did they manage to get a $7 billion valuation? That is the secret sauce that we're not sure of. We can't find out in 10 minutes. We probably can't find out in 10 days, but it's there. They've done something right. So kudos to them. I'd say one thumb sideways. I wouldn't invest in it at this current state based on that valuation. If I were to get a really good OTC deal or early investment a few years ago when they weren't having this much traction, then yeah, maybe it's looking like a good investment. But we can't look at the past and say I would have or I could have. It's just what it is. So Monad, kudos to you. Look, everything's looking good. I'm excited to follow nonetheless, and I would love to speak to the team if they would come on for a Boom Room interview. Could be a nice opportunity to learn more about it straight from the founding team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's 10 short minutes in the books for Monad. Many more points to make, but maybe we could touch on this topic again after the launch and see how they do. And until the launch, stay safe out there, everybody. Make sure you're trading with
no leverage,
with all the proper information. Yeah, no leverage. Please do not get liquidated by Donald Trump. And if you're enjoying this content, make sure you tap that like button or throw us a follow or subscribe. We're coming back with some more fun Boom Room interviews and eye tests very soon. Until then, take care. Ciao.
Bye.